Hey everybody, I'm so glad you're here at the Grateful, Thankful, Blessed Create-a-thon. How did you enjoy Terry's tutorial? Wasn't that cool, you guys? Tell me how you're going to use it. I've got some ideas of my own, and I might be using some napkins to decoupage mine. I don't know. It was just such a neat idea. And I thought maybe I would make enough to put at place settings for my whole family for Thanksgiving. Wouldn't that be cool? So anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that you enjoyed Terry's. Go back and watch Jamie's. Hers was fabulous too. And I hope that you'll stay here for the rest of the day and watch everybody's. Are you planning on doing each of the projects? Tell me if you are. We are all going to be given a free bonus and some Happy Mail. So I'll kind of explain all that as we go. Anyway, I'm Laura from McNeely Garden Studios, and we are going to be doing an intuitive journal. Here's the cover, and you think, why? You know, the theme is grateful, thankful, blessed. Well, have you ever gotten to a place in your life where you're like, I know that I am. I know that I have all these things, but sometimes you just get lost and you're like, I don't know what I'm grateful for. I don't know what I'm thankful for. I know I'm blessed, but if I had to write it, if I had to tell you what it was, maybe I couldn't just spit it out. So that is what an intuitive journal is. It's actually all about self-care. And when you take care of yourself, you have more to give to the people that you love and care for. But intuitive journaling is just taking your thoughts, emotions, ideas, and just dumping them on the page. You don't have to worry about grammar. You don't have to worry about punctuation. You just simply get it out. And often it gives you an insight to your own perspective, your own intuitiveness, your own uniqueness, some wisdom that you have deep inside that you maybe didn't even realize you have. So we're going to go through all that. And as you guys know, I hope that you follow me on Tuesdays at 10, because every Tuesday at 10 Eastern Time, I'm live on my page, McNeely Garden Studios. And my little gig is I like to create original art and have some kind of life lesson with the science that backs it that we talk about. And we're going to do that today as well. What I have is kind of complicated. It's not complicated, but it's just got a lot of steps. So I'm going to give you a head start. I'm going to explain to you what you need to do. And I'm not sure we're going to get it all the way through, but we're going to try. So if you will go back and watch the supply list guide, then you will find 3 documents. One is your supply list. One has the tracer on it with some step-by-step instructions, and the other has a template and the instructions on how to bind your book. And see, I actually sewed it together. There's a specific way to do it so that it doesn't come apart. And that's how we're going to get started. So I know that some of the things that people were worried about was they didn't know what some of the things were, and I'm going to be explaining that to you as we go, okay? So I'm going to turn you down to my table. I can tell you immediately some of the things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for you. This is my mixing palette, and it says enjoy the journey. And let me tell you, it reminds me every time, that kind of grounds me where I need to be. So this is, you'll see on the supply list, this is 140-pound watercolor paper. I tend to use that almost all the time. And you're going to very carefully get the edges together And this is the bone folder that everyone got nervous about. A bone folder is just a polished piece of bone that gives you a very nice crisp edge. You could use almost anything though. You can use a knife, you could use a credit card, whatever. But because it's polished bone, it doesn't take any of the texture off the paper. It doesn't hurt the integrity of the paper. So we know that we have this folded. And when you get out your step-by-step instructions, if I could get it off of here, this is the step-by-step and the template is here. And the reason I did it there is because it's a half a page so that it's the perfect size, and you won't have any trouble. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to plug in my trusty light box, because if you're not going to take the time to sketch things out, this sure is a simple way. And it's also a good way to learn drawing. Kind of gives you some muscle memory. So we're just going to put that, I think I'll turn this off so you can see better. So I'm going to put that right on there. And because we're going to tape this down, I would not carry your lines all the way to the edge, because you'll just end up erasing them off. So you're gonna kind of do as minimal as possible. So you need a horizon. This little fox, he's so cute. He's sitting there looking at the moon. And this is autumn. And everything changes in autumn. And I chose a fox because they're intuitive enough on their own. They're kind of clever, and they're known for being able to adapt. And that's what we need to do in the autumn, is start trying to change and get in touch with who we are and what's going on. So if you want to do these pumpkins, you can. I'm just going to simply do the little stem, just a little hint of the shape of the pumpkin. We're going to add all that later. You'll notice that I missed one of the bumps here on this pumpkin, so add that one. And the circle of the moon, I tell you what, I did that freehand, and it's not so good. So this is just a shaving cream thing, top. So I'm going to very lightly do that, because the full moon is so cool because it's absolutely round. All right, so I'm going to put that light back on. We're going to put this up. You will also notice on there that there's a poem. And when I did the original mock-up, I included the poem there, and I put the words in here. But when I did it this small, I was uncomfortable putting the words, but you may be very much more clever than me. You might be able to put it there. But I thought the poem was really appropriate for an intuitive journal. It says, words flow like water, unplanned and free, unveiling truths only the heart can see. In quiet whispers, the soul speaks clear, guiding the pen through doubt and fear. And so often that's where you get stuck. You don't know where to go. You don't know what the next thing to do is. And intuitive journaling is just giving you some tools to be able to figure those things out. I'm going to turn this off. And so my free bonus, you'll have to look at the free bonus, and it will really help you figure out how this works. This is going to be my free bonus. I happen to color this one. You don't have to do that. But generally, I just use a little simple line drawing, and I begin to write my words. Sometimes, see, here's some kind of celestial body, and I wrote words there which created a whole different shape. But when you download this, you will see this one I did not color, but this gives you some ideas of where to start, how to do it, and it's going to really, soothe your worries about it. And I included some very simple drawings that you can start off with. So that's like 10 pages, so that's going to be cool in your journal. All right, so you guys know I like fancy white edges. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I hope that we've got new people here. There we go. When I first painted this, I didn't have it marked off, and I thought to myself, well, you better paint it right so you don't paint it on there and it opens backwards. That would be terrible. And I use a lot of watercolor, and I like to mix it with some heavy body paint, but I will show you how we're doing it. So, intuitive journaling just helps you get out your thoughts and your emotions, maybe your fears, some ideas. It gives you a reason for self-discovery and maybe some reflection. And like I said before, sometimes you find out that you have a wisdom or a knowing that you didn't even realize you had. There we go. All right. I feel like there might be something I'm missing, but if I think of it, I'll let you know. So we're going to start off with a darker corner, which is called a vignette, and things that are further in the distance, especially in the night sky, they're much darker. And you can see, how watercolors will blend together. So we're not going to put the purple and the orange together because you'll end up with brown. We're going to leave just a little bit of space there while it dries. So I'm going to start with this purple. If I can get my paper towel out here. There we go. So we're just going to I hold it way at the end, my paintbrush way at the end. Kind of gives you a little more whimsical. You're not so tight about everything. And then we're going to go to a light pink. And try to avoid your moon, although it's not that big a deal. We are going to use some heavy body paint to really clean up the moon. All right, I really want that a little darker. All right. And then I'm going to come in with the yellow, but I'm going to avoid this for now. And we're going to add some orange to that. Kind of a little lower. And of course the trees are going to be over this area, but it still makes it more fluid if you have it all the way across, right? There we go. Then I used like a burgundy. I've got to move this. Hold on a moment. There we go. So a lot of times when you start writing things down, I never did a journal, but it really has helped me with a lot of things. We're going to go right over top of this little fox. And your instructions say to you know, that you're going to put heavy body paint on the pumpkins, but you don't have to. You can just go around them like we are here. It just adds some drying time, but I did it on the second one and it turned out just fine. And so I just did exactly what I told you not to do. You see how this is bleeding in? Sometimes that's perfect. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine because we're going to put details over top of it. But but that's why I was saying to leave some of that there. All right. We're going to put this on here. That's crazy. Okay. So another thing that people were really kind of nervous about was using Stabilo. I'm going to use Stabilo on this one, I think, if we can get it to dry. But this one's just a kid's set. But what's cool about Stabilo is it activates with water. So let me get that a little drier. And I've got another one to help you move things along there. So you're going to do your trees. So we're just going to press kind of hard and we're just going to start forming our trees. This one is sort of higher on the thing and this goes behind the pumpkins. And you're going to kind of want your branches to go all the way off the page. And you'll start to add more as you activate it. So we're going to put a little more here, like that. So because this is activated with water, if you decide to use this material, then you're going to need to set it with some workable fixative, which you can't paint anything on top of it because it will smear it. But if I used this one, the Krylon Satin Finish, it's in the supply list, but this way it just sprays on, you let it dry. Please do it outside because it really stinks and it's probably not safe. But that way you can continue to work on top of this. So I have just a little bit of water in here. You can't really see. I will definitely come back by and answer any questions or see who was here, whatever, because I'm not seeing your comments. So, all right. So you see how that's just activating? Let me move this up where I have a bad habit of doing all my artwork where all those letters are, where all the comments are. All right. So, you just kind of start building your tree. If you need more water, you can just wipe it off. Now, if you don't have Stabilo or if it makes you nervous, then it's perfectly fine to use watercolor. That is what I used. Honestly, if you want a really dense color, you could use some acrylic paint. No worries. And because of this design, if you have a lot of little stems coming out, it's really going to add some interest to your design. Because we're going to go back, just make sure all your stems are, all your branches are connected and go off the page. Because we're going to go on there with the Uniball, the Signo Uniball, and outline everything so that it has a nice highlight. Okay? I'm not going to bore you with more branches. You have the idea. I'm also going to give this little guy a little burgundy. Because it's fall. And those colors are so wonderful. Give him his little ears. And that little tuft of hair that's on the side of their face is so cute. Okay. So, you know, when we trust our intuition, sometimes it channels energy that can really make you understand your circumstances. It just gives you a clarity that you didn't have before. And it really doesn't matter if you go back and read it again or not. If you want to, you can. But sometimes just getting it out is enough. Okay. All right. We don't need that anymore. I gotta have something to drink, you guys. I'm getting crackly. Okay, so we're going to use this heavy body paint to kind of clean up the moon. Put your little leaves in there. I'm going to use a smaller brush. I know you guys are shocked. Okay, so we're going to come in here and clean up this moon. You can even cover some of the pencil mark if you got some on there. Another thing that intuitive journaling does is it helps you recognize patterns in your life. Sometimes you think, oh gosh, why does this always happen to me? And if you've got a journal like that, then you can see why, because you're setting yourself up, or someone is not treating you properly and you just kind of accept it. But when you write about it, you might see, oh my gosh, I don't need to allow them to do that anymore. And the science behind that is it boosts the neuroplasticity in your brain, and it gives you a better awareness and insight, and it just kind of rewires you to be a little more positive for yourself. We're going to take this and put the little leaves on. And we're just going to do a little, you don't want to cover up the, just like I did right there, you want to have them not so much in the corners of the tree because you want that white stability to show up. It's just a few because this is obviously late in autumn. Another thing about the moon, I like to just kind of put it on there and give it a little texture. Makes the moon look a little bit more real. You can do 3s, you can do 1s. Sometimes you just do 2. I also put a little light just on here because I'm going to go back and put some purple on there as well. It doesn't take much. So obviously, intuitive journaling also has other benefits, and just simply having someone to talk to, even though it's yourself, can be just a huge stress relief, and it just helps you regulate your emotions And when you do that, you actually begin to lower your cortisol. You know, sometimes that shows up in your belly, makes you hurt, makes your jeans not fit so good. And so it's a good plan to help you do that. Believe it or not, it actually helps your creativity too, because when you begin to relax, then you're not so stressed out and tense, so you can think more clearly. And the reason for that is because your analytical mind and your creative mind are at peace with each other. And that is what you want. So, magically, I have a dry one here that we're going to just continue on with. And you notice it's all the same. So, now we're going to use the Signo. I'm going to move this so I don't put my sleeve in it. And I'm going to be moving this around so you can see. But just go around. Now this one isn't quite as dark. I'll show you the difference. So this was the Stabilo. I think you can see that. And it can be blended in a little bit better. I just did it quickly so you can see. But see how intense that color is? And it has a lot of variation to it. Whereas with the watercolor, I will probably have to go back and cover, you know, you can kind of see the transparency right there. But if you didn't have the Stabilo, I wanted you to have an option. So we're just going to go along and outline all of these branches. And of course, it's going to show up a little bit more in the really dark night sky. I think we could have actually gotten it a little darker. So this kind of gives it a more illustrative look, but it also gives the branches a look of having the light shining on them. It's kind of a fanciful type style. So does anybody have any other ideas of what intuitive journaling can do for you? I know that it helps decision making when you have a clearer idea of what you're thinking and how you're responding, how you're feeling about these things. It does give you an insight to be able to make some better choices. And the science behind that is you are more confident and you have a more authentic idea of where you want to go with these things, with your decisions. And finally, believe it or not, doing your intuitive journaling can help boost your immune system, because when you don't have all those negative cortisol, negative hormones running around, you're just a plain, simply healthier person. Reducing stress in the world that we live in today has become just a huge market. We need to learn to self-soothe better than we used to be able to do it, but so who knew writing this little journal could do so much for you, right? And it helps your emotional, your cognitive, your physical health. It's just absolutely amazing. All right, we're going to come in here and we're going to add some low lights here. I'm going to put this purple right over, this is a little bit dark, right over this white, because we gave it some highlight there. And we're going to add some, it's going to go off of the white and go onto the orange, and it gives you kind of a shadow, because orange and purple make what? Make brown, right? So we're going to use that to our advantage and make it very simply. There we go. All right. So You guys gonna come watch me on Tuesdays at 10 Eastern time? What I do on Tuesdays at 10 usually is give you a little sneak peek as to what I do, which is a lot like this. I'm gonna give this little fox some outline. So I make a piece of original art and have some science-based tips for your life. And very soon, you could be a part of the, excuse me, of the founding members of my membership. It's going to be called Art and Answers, very appropriately named. And we are going to have a lot of fun. There's just going to be, I just have so many ideas with challenges, and each piece of artwork teaches a whole different thought process and different ways that you can attack your life, and make it for the best, for the better. All right. I think I'm going to put some, so when you do outlines like this in a dark place, obviously you can use the white, and we're going to put the little tendrils on there. Tendrils are something you kind of need to practice, but if you use your whole arm, you just get started, just move it around like this. Move it around, and then all of a sudden just start drawing, just start writing on your stuff, and you will be much more fluid with it. I have seen manuscripts where people, my grandparents' age, where they were practicing script, and they had just notebooks full of loops because they were learning how to let their arms go, let their hands go. Oh, I forgot, we haven't put the color in our fall leaves. Very similar to the pumpkins. I'm gonna do like this. Sometimes it's hard to talk and paint at the same time. Walk and talk, chew gum, right? So have you guys thought of some ways that you can use your intuitive journaling? And how you're going to use it to your advantage? Are you excited about it? I've loved doing mine. It was awesome. And I'm not even taking care to really do a lot, to only put it on the white. I'm just kind of dabbing it on everywhere here. Okay. So, don't forget to, when you get finished with this, I'm going to show you how to do the binding in just a moment. But don't forget to post your project. You go on all of our little guides. And is this the one I need to do? Yes. Okay. You go on all of our guides, and we will all have a post your project where you will show your version of these designs or these, ideas, projects, whatever. And we are going to end up choosing a winner. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if since it's autumn or fall, wouldn't it be cool if you could make a journal for each season? So, one lucky winner is not only going to have this autumn design, but we're also going to have a summer and a winter cover. Isn't that awesome? And that's going to be one lucky person at the end. If you haven't already followed my page, I sure wish you would go on there and look for that. McNeely Garden Studios and give me a little follow. Okay, so to do this binding, I've got to move some of this stuff. We have to have space. And just so you know, with the poster project, you need to be wrapping it up on Halloween night, okay? Because it needs to be done before November 1st. Can you see that? Before November 1st. So that we can have time to see and figure out who we're gonna end up giving this thing to. I told you this is a lot of stuff in here. I also thought it would be fun. I have a gold and a glitter pen, and I thought it would be fun to do some of the details on here with that. I haven't tried it yet, but I thought it would be good. So, for those of you who have also done any kind of needlework or anything like that, I used to do tatting. I don't even know if I could remember how to do it now. But this board, when you do like crochet or anything, you can pull it out and pin it on here and let it dry. But what I used it for was to do this all. So if you get the third document from the supply list, if you don't select scale to print, it will come out exactly this size. And the benefit to that is, I'm going to fold this. I'm going to fold it right on that line, and then you use it as a template. And make sure it's the same distance from the top to the bottom so that you have them in the center. You're going to put it right on the fold. And that is where you're going to make your holes. And I mentioned in the welcome with the supplies that if you try to do it with your needle, you will stick yourself, and that's not pleasant. So this is just a nice pick. You can use an awl. You can use, anything you want, but this really works for me. So I just put it right there on that dot. And because I have this soft stuff underneath, it goes right in there. Can you see the hole? You can see it where it pokes out here. All right, so we're gonna go do them all. Okay, and what I found to be the easiest was, and we have ladies in here that are really jam up professional bookbinders, and it's not me, but this is how I found to be the easiest. So I'm gonna put the folded pages in the center, and then I just clipped it on one side. And that way it's gonna line up. And we're gonna put that all right in that hole again and go right through the pages. This also kind of pushes the paper back down the other way. All right. And the directions for how to do this is on here if you don't remember. I'm gonna move this now. We don't need that anymore. Can you guys see? Yeah. And I chose to use silver, really heavy thread. You can use really anything. And I suppose if you made it even a bigger hole, you could use raffia or leather strap. I mean, just anything that you want. And this is an upholstery needle. Very easy for eyes that don't see little things like that very well to thread. Getting the knot in there sometimes is not the easiest thing. All right. Fingers are not wanting to do this today. There we go. Okay, so you're going to follow this. And so you're going to start with one, which you're going to go into that center one. And you're going to go up. Through there. See how it goes up? And then it comes inside to the third one. This is awkward. Sorry, I'm not being able to show you very well. And then we're going to go here. Oops. I'm going to go here. And back into this hole. So it looks like you have a whole continuous line. And I'm just going to tie it off. And I'll show you how it looks when we get done. I'll take these off. And when you get done, you're going to have that beautiful backing right there and your little pages. Isn't that cool? If you decide you want to put the poem here, you can certainly do that. It looked really interesting on this one. So I'm going to pull you back up here. Hi. Did you guys enjoy that? So don't forget to post your project. Don't forget to download the free gift, which will help you get started on your seasonal intuitive journaling. Enjoy the benefits of being more relaxed and more in tune to who you are and how you think, and get some insights there. And if you're the lucky winner, you'll get the templates for the summer and winter covers so that you can have all different ones. Now, are you thinking, where's the spring? If you're lucky, you might get a spring one too. So anyway, come to see me on Tuesdays at 10. I usually only spend 20 minutes, so you don't have to dedicate your day. And think about getting in on the Big Start of Art and Answers memberships, where you can learn your art and science behind how things you can improve your life. And follow me on my page, okay? McNeely Garden Studios. And the very next thing is Loretta Lynn Bell at Art on Wings 423. I think, yes, 423. She's awesome. She does some really cool things, and she has a really good project for you today. So don't forget, there's going to be replays, but we want to see what you do with our designs, okay? Thanks so much. Go get a drink and have a little break, and Loretta will be here at 3. Thanks.